And welcome to my show this morning. Let me just go live and start my broadcast on Instagram as well. Don't forget, you can also join me on Instagram, and my handle is at Lisa M. Dublin. That would be nice if you could. So, welcome this morning. As I said, my name Lisa Dublin, and we want to talk about resilience. What is it? Do you need it? And I want to talk about the fear of failing again. Is it warranted? Do you have, you know, do you have reason to have that fear? How do you get over it? That's what we want to talk about this morning. But before I do, I'd like to say a special good morning to the diamonds in the To All the Girls Success Club. How are you doing? Don't forget what it means to be a diamond. That means you're precious, eh? That means you have something going for you, okay? And you want to honor that and to act from that, behave as if that you were that person. So it's not coming on this morning for IG, but that's okay. Let's just move on because this morning's topic is very important. We're not just talking about the fear of failing, because you can have that fear when you haven't done something before, when you're tentative, you're inexperienced. There's that fear. There is also the fear of failing again, which prevents us from going forward, doing things and getting it right, and learning to be resilient, coming back from failure, coming back from adversity, coming back from not doing it well. Hi, Regina. Good morning to you. So, why do we have that fear? We have that fear because we failed. We literally have proof that we didn't get it right. We literally have proof that I failed at this. I failed at marriage. I failed at relationships. I failed at friendships. I failed at stepping out and trying a new thing, and it blew up in my face. What else do we fail at? Let me know. Just look at your own life. What have you failed at? And are you willing to try again? And why aren't you willing to try again? Sometimes we think we have so much proof, but here's where I want to start this morning. I have to sign in everywhere again this morning. For some reason, my browser was giving trouble. So I don't have my little pie chart on resilience up. But what I want to ask you, one of those, slivers, the slices, is evaluation. Evaluation means that when I fail, I step back. And one of the pivotal questions for me when I have failed at anything, I usually go like, oh yeah, I failed at this, I don't know this. And a lot of people just use a blanket statement like, I failed at marriage, I failed at love, I failed at business, I failed at stepping out and trying to accomplish my dreams. I've so many things that we just have a blanket statement of I failed at. But can I ask you to go deeper? What exactly did you fail at? What exactly are you saying that you were a failure for? If you say something like, I failed at marriage, did you fail at being who you were? Did you marry the wrong person? Were the conditions not right? Well, the conditions are never right. But were you immature? Was that person immature? Are your values changed so that you're going after another kind of partner as opposed to what attracted you before? See what I mean? It mightn't just be that you failed at marriage. It might be that you failed to attract or to go with the right person, for example, and that if you try better in that area, the next time you might be able to succeed. So you failed perhaps at stepping out and going after your dreams, and it didn't work out, and you had to find yourself in, dire straits. What exactly did you fail at? That question is a clarifying question because it helps you to pick apart the pain, as I like to call it. And when we get hurt or disappointed, when we fail at anything, we like to do like, okay, so let me give you an analogy. Which we got a Roddy. Well, he's not around me now, but we got a new puppy, and so we're house training. So all of my friends on Facebook and right here in my community, my friends here, just go get a dog pad. And when you get the dog pad, you that's how you house train. So the dog knows where to go and do number one and number two, when you can't take him outside and all of that. Okay, that's all well and good. I'm sorry I didn't do Instagram this morning. So, but the thing is that when he has done it, and I'm still waiting to get one, we're getting the number one right. Like he goes outside to pee and he has a couple of accidents, but just reading up on stuff, helps me to know what to do, helps us to know what to do. But when he does number two, what the advice is you just simply, you roll it up, fold it up, whatever, and you just dump it and you dump it, you take it away, right? And it's like that when we fail. The results are like not what I want. So you don't take the time to pick apart that pain because it's unpleasant and it hurts. And you don't want to be reminded of the disappointment, the failure, the whatever happened that is not pleasing and pleasant in your body and for you after you failed. But what if you can get to the point where you can pick apart that pain for the lessons there? Can I tell you that you'll find two sets of lessons when you do that? Because in any endeavor, in any effort, just because of you being a human being, there will be good things that you did therein, as well as places that you can really recognize this is exactly where I failed. But when you pick apart the pain and you pick apart the last result that you got, instead of this blanket thing of I failed, what does that even mean? What exactly did you fail at? That's what I'm trying to get to. When you pick it apart, you'll see two things. Those areas where I did good. So you answer the question, what did I do well? And then you also answer the question, what did I not do well? What didn't go right? And then because you want to move the needle along. And I do that a lot with my clients. Fearful people who, brave in many areas, but because of setbacks in certain areas, you don't want to take the leap again. You don't want to step out. But why exactly don't you want to step out again? And we go through that entire process. What worked, what didn't work, and what will I do better if you want to go down that route again. And these clarifying questions, as I love to call them, really help you to get some sort of encouragement and direction. Why do I say encouragement and direction? Remember, we're still talking about evaluation as one of the components of resilience. Evaluate where you are by taking apart that pain. What did I do well? What didn't I do well? What will I do differently? You'll find things that you did well, and so you take note of these. You wear these wins and those strengths as badges. Yeah, okay, for the entire thing didn't work out as I wanted it to, but I have now recognized the areas where I literally did something well. And in there you might also look at and recognize core things that you did well, core attitudes that you exercised, even though the end result was not what you wanted. These are the badges. These are the things that you put in your back pocket, and you're like, okay, I do have something to contribute to the next effort if you want to go down that route, because there's still fear. And I'll give you some steps of how I overcome it, like some steps to really like go deeply. Okay. The second thing you're looking for, obviously, what didn't work well. And guess what you do with that? You don't go hiding. You don't go into like more distress. You don't go drowning your sorrows. Oh, I'm pity party. I can't do this. I can't do. No. When you find the areas within the failure that really failed and you see what your part of it was, then you have what you need to make a plan, to have a strategy of how to fix those parts. Because remember, you have also already acknowledged what worked. You guys, this is big. This is mind and thought work that helps you to be resilient and helps you not to be afraid to try again, which is why most people just give up and are not resilient. Okay. So you look at the failures and you make a plan. Okay, if that's what I did the first time, I understand if I want to try again, these things have to be fixed. If I, so I know I really did that for relationships. Okay. Like when relationships failed, man, I was like, okay, what's going on here? What kind of man do I want to look for? Right? And I had some non-negotiables because I recognize for somebody like me, okay, you needed to like me. I think it's very important, but especially for like women who are like, achievers and so on, you want somebody to just like who you are. That's very important. And that for me was one thing I recognized was not there in previous relationships. And I was like, no, it has to be one of the things that I will look out for in going after a partner. Anyway, that was like 19 years ago. That was a good long while ago, but it's still very important and I still teach it. You look for somebody who likes you as well as loves you. Those two things absolutely have to go together, okay? So when you find what you didn't do well, you make a plan to make it work this time. What will I do differently? Maybe I need to look at my values. That didn't work. Maybe I went into business with the wrong people. Okay, what am I looking for this time? So here's what's happening. Do you realize by in making a plan to overcome the failures, the real failures, you are giving yourself hope? Yes, that's how it works. And then to kind of clinch the hope and to look towards the future, you ask the next question: what will I do differently if I had to do this again? So that moves you out of the fear of failure to the possibility and that sliver of hope that, hey, perhaps knowing the things I did well, having a plan to overcome and to do better where I had literally failed, then perhaps these are the things that I can now do differently if I had to go down the route of love again, marriage again, business again, stepping out, accomplishing my dreams again, all of these great things. So it's evaluation that is one of these markers of resilience that we shy away from when we fail. We just bundle up that doo doo and throw it away. I'm not doing it again. But the clarifying question this morning is, what exactly did you fail at? And can you make it better? Okay, a couple points to note, and then I'll get out of here. I want to get my run in before I go. Okay, that. Let's just get this going. So we do what worked, what didn't work, what will I do differently? And you focus a lot. If you are very afraid and you've done this exercise, then you have to start focusing on the things that you did well. Oh, I did this well. Listen, like spend days while you're doing chores, walking, working out, driving to work, coming back from work, any quiet time that you have, spend time focusing on the things that you did well in that situation if you're now planning to do it again and you're moving from fear to possibility. You did this is the fear of failing again we're talking about. That fear keeps us, not accomplishing and going out to do what we really can do. So you focus a lot and you as we say, big yourself up. What did I do well? Maybe there are some core things that you got right that tell you all you needed to was to put more better strategies in place the next time, but you can literally see yourself being a heavyweight in that area because of the things that you did well even in the failure. That is huge. Don't forget to do it. So spend some time moving the needle from fear to possibility by focusing on what you did well the first time. Here's something else. So, one little tactic is to this time take smaller steps. Take smaller steps that will compound your wins and give you the confidence to take bigger steps. So, it could be in friendship. Maybe you're just like, I'm shutting down, I'm not letting anybody in, I've been betrayed, whatever. No, just talk to people. Start with Facebook groups. Start with perhaps talking to the person on the bus. Just take it easy. Take smaller steps this time. And that's one way to compound the wins, to build the muscle of confidence and help you to move from fear to possibility. And here's one strategy of mine. Why don't you write a different ending? Why don't you invest some time, 5 minutes every morning, just to write out the story of how you want this to end this time? In that story, and that is part of the auto suggestion I learned from this book. One of my favorite, my foundational books. I always say, like, I have a couple foundational books. The Bible for sure. Think and Grow Rich is another one. The Fourth Dimension is another one. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I think, what I'm beginning to realize, one other book that changed my life was Atomic Habits. That's a basis of a lot of compounding success and all of that. But that principle of auto suggestion, of helping your mind to think a certain way and only a certain way, as some kind of focus that makes it happen in the physical, that is huge. Write out the ending that you want this time and do it consistently for a couple days, a couple weeks, even if the fear is that deep. And see if, when you come to think of the fear, that you don't literally start to have the sentences that you wrote out instead take over. Write out a different ending each time and see what happens. So these are a couple strategies for getting into evaluation and making it work to move the needle for you when you are afraid of failing again. A lot of this is that romanticizing of, oh, I failed. I'm never going to do it again. Oh, he did me wrong and nobody's ever getting close to you. No, you sound like a movie on Netflix. Get back into life, jump back in, tie waist, throw your shoulders back, learn the lessons, and let's make this work because you have it within you. You were not all bad in the situation. There were things that you did right. What about these things? What if you could take those wins and you can plunk them into the next situation and you can be resilient and get a different result? Okay, my friends, join me tomorrow, hopefully. I've been resilient, been showing up. I had a late night, like I worked late into the night. And so I had a bit of a later morning today. And I remembered an exercise, like a practice that a client of mine was telling me about. Like you just really immerse your face in ice water. I forgot the name of the practice, but it works. It really livens you up, gets you alive, gets the puffiness out of your face a little bit and gets you like, yes, let's do it. So that was part of my resilient routine this morning. Like dousing, I got up and I was like, hey, got to do my show. And I know I'm tired, but this has to be done. So I gave myself a lovely ice water face bath this morning, and it works. Like it really gets you going. I hope somebody out here has tried it. Let me know. Okay, folks, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to be resilient. And part of being resilient is to evaluate your results and not have just blanket romantic statements like, I failed. What exactly did you fail at? That's the question for today. Hi, Mrs. Eiffel. You joined late? Oh, my goodness. And I'm just getting off. So please watch the replay. And if you're watching this on the replay, please type replay. All right, folks. See you and have a great day. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.